U.S. Lacrosse presents the 2018 NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rules Interpretation video. The NFHS points of emphasis for the 2018 season are shots at the ends of periods, slow whistle, face-offs, mouthpieces, new cross. Shots at the ends of periods. Goals will now be allowed if the ball is released from the shooter's cross before the horn sounds to end a period. Officials will delay sounding the whistle until the shot comes to its normal conclusion. Officials must now be more aware of the game clock in shooting situations toward the end of periods. Slow whistle. When there is a flag down during a slow whistle situation, as long as the offended team is not otherwise required to keep it in by rule or by the official's warning, then the attacking team is no longer required to keep the ball in the goal area, otherwise known as the attack box. Teams are free to enter and exit the box as many times as they wish. If, in the judgment of the officials, a team is stalling during a slow whistle play, officials may still apply the get it in and keep it in mechanic for stalling. Face-offs. Face-off players are allowed to make contact to their opponent first. However, the contact must be legal during the face-off. Legal body contact includes legal holds, legal pushes, and body checking a player who has no other part of his body touching the ground except his feet. Body checks must be made below the neck, above the waist, and to the front or side. Illegal body checks, including spearing with the head, must be strictly enforced. Here is an example of illegal body contact. Mouthpieces. In 2017, the foul for a mouthpiece violation was changed from a personal foul to a technical foul to encourage officials to enforce this rule. Coaches should encourage players to wear mouthpieces properly. New cross. New cross specifications for the head were announced in 2016 but did not come into effect until this season. Officials must be aware of the new measurements and what constitutes an illegal head under these new rules, which will be covered later in this video. 2018 NFHS Rules Changes. Rule 1.2. The 120-yard-long unified field for boys and girls lacrosse is legal for play. This provides economic relief to schools by allowing one set of shared field markings for both games. The boys' field is extended from 110 to 120 yards long. The added space is between the goal line and the top of the box. Each will be 5 yards longer. All other field measurements are the same, and officials should know the traditional and unified field measurements and layout to be prepared for the potential of officiating on a slightly different field. Rule 1.6. In 2018, every head will meet the specifications designated in this diagram, also found in the rulebook. The most significant change is that the minimum width is reduced to 6 inches at the widest point, and minimum widths are established at points along the head of the cross. Rule 1.7.5. Pockets of non-traditional synthetic material are permitted. This will allow for new products entering the market that are non-traditional but not illegal. The pocket must still meet the legal specifications for legal cross construction listed in Rule 1.7. Rule 1.9.1G8. Opposing teams must wear contrasting color jerseys. The home team wears light jerseys and the visiting team wears dark colored jerseys. The visiting team is responsible for avoiding similarity of colors, but the referee may require the home team to change jerseys if there is any doubt or confusion. Beginning in 2022, the home team will be required to wear white jerseys and the away team will be required to wear non-white jerseys. Rule 4.3.3d. This rule was edited to ensure fairer face-offs. It now reads, "The officials shall make certain that the reverse surfaces of the crosses match evenly in that the top of one head lines up with the throat of the other and are perpendicular to the ground." This is also known as top to stop and is how the heads should be positioned on every face-off. Rule 4.3.3n. This rule was changed to allow greater flexibility in determining color contrast between the shaft, glove, and cross head for officials conducting face-offs. It now reads, "A contrasting color between the head and the top glove must be visible on the shaft at face-offs. This can be accomplished with the original shaft color, paint, a single wrap of tape, or other material." Rule 4.9.20. This new rule states that a goal will be allowed if the shot is released prior to the end of the period. This is a significant rule change and officials must be prepared to officiate it correctly. The shot will be allowed to come to its normal conclusion if the ball is out of the shooter's cross before the horn sounds to end the period. Officials should withhold the whistle until the ball comes to rest. If the ball deflects off the goalkeeper or a defender and goes into the goal is good. If the ball deflects off an offensive player and goes into the goal does not count. In the following example clip, play is restarted with 1 second left in a tie game. The red player shoots the ball, the horn sounds while the ball is in the air, and the officials correctly delay the whistle. The ball goes into the back of the net and the goal is good. Red wins the game.
Here, Tierney, his pass well outside for Byrne. Turnover with the second to play, they let it go. Does it count? It does!
Rule 4.18.4. No defensive player other than a properly equipped goalkeeper can enter his own crease with the perceived intent of blocking a shot or acting as a goalkeeper. This rule was changed last season to better protect defensive players by discouraging them from entering the crease to block shots, but the foul was an individual rather than a team foul. The penalty for a violation was changed to: a team's first violation results in a conduct foul on the defensive player committing the foul. A team's second violation will be enforced as a 1-minute releasable unsportsmanlike conduct foul served by the offending player. Rule 6.5.2x. This rule clarifies that the foul for not wearing a mouthpiece or wearing a mouthguard improperly, such as fishhooking, results in a technical foul on the offending player. Rule 6.10.2. This rule was updated to permit 3 additional situations to wipe off a stall. It now reads, "The stalling warning remains in effect until a goal is scored, a shot that hits the goal pipes, a shot that hits the goalie or hits his equipment, the defensive team gains possession of the ball, or the period ends, resulting in a face-off." If the offensive team is under a stall and a shot is taken that hits the goal or the goalkeeper, the stall is off and the offense may take the ball out of the attack area. When this occurs, the officials will all shout, "Stall is off," and give the correct signal. Rule 7.8.2. This rule was updated to allow play to continue after a flag down slow whistle in 2 new situations. 1. If a shot is taken and a goal is not scored, play will be allowed to continue if possession is retained without the ball hitting the ground, the goalkeeper, or the goal pipes. The most common example of this is a shot that misses the goal and is caught by an offensive player behind the goal. 2. A team is no longer required to keep the ball in the box unless otherwise required to do so by rule or by the official's warning. Rule 7.8.2K. This rule now reads, "The official shall withhold the whistle until a second defensive foul is committed during the final 2 minutes of regulation play with the team that is ahead possessing the ball unless a scoring play is imminent." The second flag stops play unless a scoring play is imminent, regardless of the score differential or the time of the first flag. New signal for wiping off a technical foul after a goal. The correct way to report wiping off a live ball technical foul after a goal is:
Goal is good. The push is waved off. Face off. Goal is good. The push is wiped off. Face off.
Gameplay. Watch the following clips selected by the Men's Officials Development Task Force and the National Rules Interpreter as great examples of correct calls and no calls. These are examples of legal stick checks that target the stick or the gloved hand holding the stick. These are examples of legal body checks that are from the front and side, above the waist, and below the shoulders, and appropriate for this level of play. These are examples of illegal body checks that should result in a flag down. These are examples of checks to the head and neck that must result in a flag down and a minimum foul of 2 minutes non-releasable. These are examples of checks to a defenseless player that must result in a flag down and a minimum foul of 2 minutes non-releasable. U.S. Lacrosse offers several e-learning options for officials looking to improve their knowledge of lacrosse and is a tremendous benefit to our members. At learning.uslacrosse.org, official members can view the Boys Lacrosse Rules course to establish fundamental knowledge of NFHS rules and application. Officials can also order professional development webinars on topics such as game management, crease play, mechanics, and more from some of the top officials working games today. Officials can also learn more on the U.S. Lacrosse Men's Game Videos page about rules of the game, challenge themselves by watching You Make the Call videos, and see in-depth analysis of different penalties and mechanics provided by the Men's Official Development Task Force. Thank you for watching the 2018 NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rules Interpretation video presented by U.S. Lacrosse. Remember to stay ahead of the play and have a great season.